From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
WhatsApp chats between Riya Chakrabarti, her team and professionals from top PR firms in Mumbai have sent shockwaves across India. Tonight I will expose the larger hidden story of a powerful syndicate that includes top stars and politicians. Names are being taken and a list is being prepared. The plot is unraveling. Let's debate.
That have been raised with regards to your conversation with Riya Chakrabarti.
A little after 3 p.m., Riya Chakrabarti's talent manager, a publicist from a top PR firm in Mumbai, Kwan, Jaya Saha, entered the Enforcement Directorate office in South Mumbai. She was questioned for over 4 hours.
There have been questions that have been raised with regards to your conversation with Riya Chakrabarti with regards to consumption of drugs. Would you like to say something? Jaya, would you like to comment on the fact these are conversations which have been made public? We are trying to get your version. We are just trying to get your version.
Please leave.
Would you like to say anything with regards to the conversations that have basically taken place?
Jaya,
please, we are looking for you. They have been.
Republic confronted her as the Enforcement Directorate unearths a mega drug racket centered around Riya Chakrabarti and her brother Shovik. And Jaya's interrogation will prove to be crucial in this investigation. Here's why. Your channel has accessed the complete dossier of the drug chats of Riya Chakrabarti. We have exposed her. On the 25th of November 2019, Jaya Saha, who is a consultant at talent agency Kwan, also the talent manager of Riya Chakrabarti, informs Riya that she is sending a contraband, CBD oil or cannabidiol, to a 5-star hotel in Mumbai. The subsequent chat message reads, and I quote, "Use 4 drops in coffee, tea or water and let him sip it. Give it 30 to 40 minutes for it to kick in." An indication that Riya illegally administered drugs to Sushant Singh Rajput. The deleted WhatsApp chats that were retrieved from Riya Chakrabarti's phone also indicate that she could have been a drug peddler and not just a consumer. On April 4th, Sushant's house manager, Samuel Miranda, informed Riya that the stuff is almost over. He asks if they can take the contraband from Shovik's friend. A few days later, on the 27th of April, Sushant's house manager Dipesh Sawant informs Riya about 2 bags of drugs that will be delivered on the same day. They were all part of a drug cartel.
We are going to ask this question that you are the man who's after all was bringing in drugs for Riya Chakrabarti. That too during the lockdown. That too, not about, a few grams we're talking about, but several kilos of drugs that were being transported from one part of the city to the other part.
The Narcotics Control Bureau has swung into action. Riya has been booked. The PR, Bollywood, politician drug nexus is being investigated.
The NCB that has registered a case in the Sushant Singh case is now going to probe the PR Bollywood politician syndicate network. They're going to try and fathom from where the drugs were being brought from India and abroad. They're also going to see how Riya is at the very center of this drug cartel, and they're also going to see whether Riya's brother Shovik was an alleged drug supplier.
For years, the drug syndicate was the dirtiest Bollywood secret. The truth is spilling out now.
इसमें अंतर्भूत है, इस प्रकार की बातें सामने आ रही हैं। सवाल महाराष्ट्र सरकार की मंशा पे उठता है कि जिस प्रकार से महाराष्ट्र की सरकार इस मामले को दबाने का प्रयास कर रही थी, तो क्या यह ड्रग माफिया को बचाने की कोशिश थी महाराष्ट्र सरकार की? क्या फिल्म जगत के कुछ बड़े लोगों को बचाने का प्रयास था? क्या कोई राजनेता इसमें फंसा हुआ है?
Agencies are ready with a list of 20 names that include topmost film stars and politicians. and the countdown to the big reveal has begun. Let's debate.
The question which emerges is this, Tausif, and I want to start with you. Pay close attention to the question and then respond. That since this is about a drug cartel, among several other things, to go slow or close down the investigation can only happen if you want to benefit the drug cartel or you want to stop the drug cartel from being exposed, or you think that there are people in this drug cartel who you want to protect, or if any politicians or film stars who you know are part of the drug cartel and are connected to people like Riya Chakrabarti and her cartel. And since therefore the question which everyone is asking, Tausif, is it possible that the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government was worried about big names in this drug cartel getting exposed if this matter is investigated any further?
Well, if you're talking about current Mumbai government, they have been in power from very recently. And this drug cartel related with this drug whole story related with Riya Chakrabarti starts from 2017, at which point of time BJP was in power in Maharashtra. Therefore, yes, they should be exposed. Yes, all the names of whoever party they belong to should come to light, and strict action should be taken. I don't know if the opposition in Maharashtra today would really want to pursue this, because when CID, when CBI or whichever department, criminal investigation team, whichever is investigating this matter, would be worried about the outcome of the investigation. I'm totally in favor of this entire drug cartel angle be investigated and exposed, but I do not understand how this relates to the Sushant Singh death case. If it does, then it's more serious and it should be looked into more seriously.
Okay. How does it relate is a question asked. I would like to share with you that among the angles which are being looked at, Ishkaran, is the use of hardcore narcotics along with the sexual exploitation of Bollywood aspirants, among others. Yes, please. So, Ishkaran.
Arnab, let us firstly ask a square question to Mumbai police. CBI is investigating a case after an FIR. ED is investigating a separate case. NCB is investigating a third case. So they have 3 FIRs going on by central agencies. And Mumbai police did not find one signal cognizable offense to register an FIR in a case out of which 3 FIRs are borne by central agencies. That is the first question to Mumbai police. Second, Arnab, in this case, these drug chats, let's not get into BJP or Shiv Sena.
Yeah.
Mumbai police
stay focused on the issue.
Investigate this. Why did they not investigate and seize the electronic evidence? I have been shouting hoarse. You have been shouting hoarse that you have to do basic investigation. That is why they didn't want to register FIR, because the minute an FIR is registered, you have to seize electronic evidences of all connected people, and these electronic evidences would have revealed drug chats. So they did not want to get all this on record, because who knows where these drug chats lead to? Who knows where these alleged suppliers supply to? So that is why probably they did
so
not want to register
you're saying, Ishkaran, therefore, we are connecting the dots. What you're saying is that if they had actually filed an FIR, then they would have to seize the digital evidence and records of people like Riya Chakrabarti, Shovik. And if Riya, mark my words, I'm not mentioning any particular individual with 2 alphabets, abbreviated name, which is doing the rounds. I'm generally saying if Riya Chakrabarti were to be in touch with any politician, right? Or her brother is in touch with any politician or stars, and they're all part of the drug circuit, because we were told that there were quote unquote big rave parties going on.
Yes.
And this is the interesting part where it gets very curious. Rahul,
Arnab,
we were told, and you can add more to it certainly, that there is a particular resort in Mumbai where major rave parties go on, where Riya Chakrabarti used to go, where politicians would go, and politicians along with Bollywood stars and aspirants would all carry out 2-3 day long rave parties. They would live in the resort.
Yes.
And the rave parties would go on endlessly over 2 or 3 days. Now maybe it is in this intermingling. Do you understand, Rahul? It is in this intermingling between the dirt of Bollywood and the dirt of among netas, which perhaps Ishkaran and Rahul can debate, which the Mumbai police was afraid of coming out.
Congrats for the war on drugs. You should definitely fight. You should take the lead on this war on drugs, exploitation and sexploitation. Even though we don't know how much this is connected to the Sushant case.
Amit and Rahul.
Because drugs are anti-human and anti-national. But we don't have enough evidence to connect this to Sushant case. We have to see the chats in a context. And even if it go for the legal scrutiny, it has to be read in the entirety. 2017, 18, 19, 20 chats cannot be interlinked and read in that sequence. So the entire chat should be produced. This important war on drugs should go on. But regarding Sushant case, we have to wait.
Amit,
Rahul, the minute you had
this is
Mumbai
about
police had done an
lies,
FIR in this
and
case,
then
they would have had to seize the electronic records of all parties of interest and do a forensic.
don't speak over each other, gentlemen. Let Amit speak. Amit.
Sex, lies, and then murder. So Riya Chakrabarti is a front face of a big gang which is operating, which is drug consumption, drug peddling, organizing these rave parties, and they are also responsible for the murder of Sushant Singh Rajput. And all these revelations that have come yesterday after the investigation of Enforcement Directorate. My question is, why didn't these revelations come out of the investigation of Mumbai police? The great investigation of Mumbai police which went on for 65 days.
Surendra Chauhan also.
They did not seize electronics, they did not check cell tower locations, they did not check call data records, they did not seize anybody's cell phones, they did not take statements of those people who were present in Sushant Singh Rajput's flat at the time of his death. They did not take statement of Chakrabarti. For whom is this entire cover-up happening is the question. And this question, the entire country is asking this question. For whom is this cover-up happening? For whom?
If the nation is to buy your theory that Mumbai police is hand in glove with the cartel of drug peddlers, no, your people are accusing unnecessarily. Ishkaran Bhandari and you people have no sense.
No, Ishkaran Bhandari is saying a very specific thing.
The CBI is investigating it, and I am sure that all the evidence and testimony.
Arnab, I need to answer this.
Just a minute. Now,
What the SCB is doing.
Jaya Saha, I'd like to read out a few messages. Mukesh Khanna, please. Mukesh Khanna, they have incriminating evidence, the Drug Control, Narcotics Control Bureau, but I do want to ask, is it not shameful that the Enforcement Directorate, which looks at the financial angle, the Enforcement Directorate has to bring out all this incriminating evidence regarding the use of drugs among politicians and Bollywood personalities? What is the Narcotics Control Bureau doing? What is the Mumbai police doing? Is it the Enforcement Directorate's job to look at this? It's happening right under the nose. And now what people tell me, Mukesh, is that drugs, politicians and Bollywood.
Arnab.
There is a strong circuit which operates in Mumbai. What can you share, Mukesh? Share with our viewers the details.
Arnab, in last few discussions I had with you, I have given you lots of compliments. I even have said Vijayi Bhavaputra. But today let me tell you, Arnab, you are opening the Pandora box of the Bollywood. Your relentless campaign in this case is slowly getting into the inner circle of the industry, which nobody has gone yet. This case has gone from suicide to murder to Reha mysteriously giving tablets to Sushant for the depression, and now it is being revealed that those tablets were not tablets, they were drugs administered in coffee. I mean, it is shameless. I mean, it's a totally shameful. And but again, I would say, this is not something new. In politicians, they call these kind of girls as Vish Kanya. You must have heard the name of Vish Kanya, which is used all over the world. Now, I don't know whether this girl is a Vish Kanya, but this girl is now, your investigation is exposing Bollywood to a light. That's why I said आपने Pandora box खोल दिया है. आपने जो कुछ भी कहा है वो सच कहा है. यहाँ पर रेव पार्टियां होती है. मैंने भी एक बार कहा था बीच में, करण जौहर का नाम भी ले लिया था कि करण जौहर don't expose this side of Bollywood to the audience. कि आप लोग ड्रग्स भी यूज करते हो. ओपनली इट वाज शोन इन अ फोटोग्राफ व्हिच वाज देन आफ्टरवर्ड्स रिमूव्ड. दिस केस इज गेटिंग इनटू द सेम थिंग. पार्टियां होती हैं, रेव पार्टियां होती हैं, स्ट्रगलर्स आते हैं जिनको काम चाहिए, जिनके पास.
Amit ji, let him speak. Amit ji, let him speak. Amit ji, let Mukesh complete. Let Mukesh Khanna speak, because he is giving some details. Our viewers will be interested to know. Yes, Mukesh.
Arnab, in this our industry, गांव खेड़े से, टाउन से बच्चे आते हैं, स्ट्रगलर्स होते हैं. आजकल टीवी इंडस्ट्री ने इतना ज्यादा माहौल क्रिएट कर दिया है. एक जमाने में जब फिल्म इंडस्ट्री होती थी तो यू हैव टू लुक ब्यूटीफुल. Feroz Khan once told me, Mukesh, when I used to stand in the crowd of 100 people used to say, hey, ये फिरोज खड़ा हुआ है. उस जमाने में लार्जर देन लाइफ पर्सनैलिटी चाहिए होती है. आजकल टीवी इंडस्ट्री ने नेक्स्ट डोर रहने वाले की इमेज को आप लोगों के सामने दिया और हर कोई भाग कर आता है. उसके पास पर्सनैलिटी हो या नहीं हो, अगर वो कर सकते तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकते. उसको ये नहीं मालूम कि वहां पर कौन कौन लोग हैं, आपको कितना एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, आपको रोल दिलाने के चक्कर में आपको बोलेंगे आओ ऑफिस में, आप आते हो, आज मेरे वहां पार्टी है, वहां आ जाओ. बेचारी या बेचारा स्ट्रगलर, काम चाहिए, बाप बाप को बोलकर आया है कि मैं कुछ करके दिखाऊंगा, और वो बाद में धीरे धीरे प्रोड्यूसर को खुश करने के चक्कर में लड़कियां कहां कहां नहीं घुमाई जाती. मैं नहीं बोल सकता, पर मुझे तो मतलब ये सुनकर ही घिन आती है. मुझे गुस्सा आता है कि भाई आज कितना गिर गए हैं हम लोग. आप लोगों ने करोड़ों रुपए कमाए, अरबों रुपए कमाए आपके बैंक में, फिर भी आप एक बेचारा 1000 रुपए बैंक वाले आदमी को भी आप लूट रहे हो. सो आई एम हैप्पी दैट योर this campaign is slowly exposing the new angle of drugs, and let me tell you, Arnab, at the end, this is a very, very big thing. It's not a small thing. Drug racket is not small. बड़े बड़े लोग इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, बड़े बड़े माफिया इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. आज तक इंडस्ट्री के कोई केस बाहर नहीं आता है तो छुपा दिया जाता है. इवन वर्ल्ड में भी होता है. तो यू गॉट टू बी केयरफुल, you got to expose them, and I will be happy if the drug scandal in the industry is exposed, because it is killing our youth. आइसक्रीम्स में बच्चों को ड्रग खिलाया जाता है स्कूल के बाहर कि उनको ड्रग्स की आदत पड़ जाए. So I don't know how you will do it, I mean, you're right, Bombay police should have known this. Why CBI? Why the enforcement directorate has to tell कि ये drugs का चक्कर है?
I am astonished actually, Mukesh ji, that because I have followed the enforcement directorate for a long time and I have been a reporter. I used to cover the CBI. And I know that the CBI and enforcement directorate have very specific jobs. As you know, the job of the enforcement directorate is to look at issues like money laundering. I'm sure they will look at it. But I was speaking to someone and they said, Arnab, the enforcement directorate people had to come and find out about the drugs mafia. Isn't it shocking? Why don't you ask on your program, what was the Narcotic Control Bureau people in Mumbai doing? What was the Mumbai police doing? What was Parambir Singh doing? These people don't know. Now one point is there, Shreya. Because problem is Nasir, we must speak the truth, you see. And please come on the program. We must speak the truth. And the truth I am told is that politicians and film stars and Bollywood, drunk with power, openly indulge in peddling and consuming hard drugs, cocaine, what they call meth, and that there are meth and cocaine parties in which openly Babalog politicians, stars and superstars sit together and consume drugs. And these rave parties go on for days sometimes.
And nobody stops.
And the sad part is, you know, Mukesh ji, I'll tell you one thing. The sad part is, while these rave parties go on, security personnel funded by you and me, taxpayers, stand outside to provide security to these lumpens. Tell me today, tell me Nasir and Shreya, does this not happen?
Shame.
Do politicians, film stars, film directors sit down or not in non-stop drug parties? And is it not true, Shreya? I'll go deeper. That since COVID started, this has become a regular matter in Mumbai. Let's speak up today. Gaurav, I'm coming to you in a minute. I just want all of this to come out so you can give an informed view on what's going on. Shreya and Nasir, please. Yeah.
So I just want to say that just a few weeks back, Mr. Surendra Chauhan was saying that Mumbai police is the best police in the world. And right now he's claiming that the Mumbai police doesn't know about all these drugs peddling and cartels and everything, and still it's going on. Mumbai police is unaware. Do you think that any kind of drug business, which is so prevalent in Mumbai, in every party you go to, you will find some people doing drugs? Do you think it is possible for it to happen without the protectors or people who, or Mumbai police not being in the know-how of it? So obviously it is something which everybody is on it, and that is the reason that Mumbai police did not want to investigate the case. Maharashtra government was against CBI investigation because they knew that once CBI comes in, then all these things will start coming out. And it is very well known that, yes, drugs are all over the place. Any party you go to, you will find it here in Mumbai. So it's very easily available. And
I'll tell you one more thing which happened today. I was speaking to someone who I found out details of what Ria was doing. So Ria, when she went to the enforcement directorate, Gaurav, she was confronted and she was asked, where is your phone? So she said to the enforcement directorate officials, I have left my phone at home. Immediately people were sent home and her phone was brought. Her data had already been taken. And she was shown these messages, these drug messages. Then she asked the enforcement directorate, are you calling me a drug peddler? The enforcement directorate told her, we are only showing you the messages on your phone. Ria was then on the verge of breaking down. And apparently she said, I don't know, and had a nervous breakdown right then and there before the enforcement directorate. Which means she's very nervous. Gaurav, Ria is very nervous, she knows. And I'll also tell you there is one resort where Ria, politicians and all these people, these drug peddlers, the Bollywood circuit, I know of the name of a very preachy Bollywood director's daughter who used to go there for these drug parties. Allow me to complete. And a politician used to frequent there. And the drug parties, the politicians were openly there in these drug parties with Ria. Ria is now feeling the pressure. Gaurav, this has become bigger than when it started. And we are now on the edge of a very major investigation. Gaurav, where do you think this is going?
So, Arnab,
Gaurav, please, Gaurav, AKashdeep first. Gaurav.
I would request you should always have your indomitable, fearless spirit. Today you said, I'm not naming somebody, but the initials are out. Let me say this very categorically, that from the evidence that has come out, it is very evident that in the case of Disha Salia, it could be a murder and also sexual exploitation. FIR ought to have been registered. Second, in the case of Sushant Singh Rajput, again, it could be a murder. No FIR was registered for 66 days. And now it is drugs also. And with drugs, MDMA. Do you know that it's a crime under the NDPS Act and how serious a crime?
It can attract imprisonment of 20 years if the quantity is commercial quantity. Cognizable offense. Why was Sushant Singh Rajput administered this drug? Was it because somebody wanted to slow down his reasoning and senses so that he could not take informed decisions? And this is exactly the effect of MDMA. You know, the effect is depression, anxiety. What Sushant Singh Rajput complained of. Second, you know, it is sad to see that CBI, ED, everyone is now cracking down on the culprits who are being protected by the high and mighty. I thought that baby Penguin and Penguin father, they were trying to protect somebody who had committed a crime. Now it comes out there is a drug cartel also. And we should come out fearlessly, be it Bollywood or Tollywood or any wood. We have to stand as a citizen. No one is above law. Sushant Singh Rajput needs to get justice. We need to ensure that anybody who was indulging in storing, administering or using drugs need to be booked by the police. I will not be shocked, Arnab, from my experience, if there is custodial interrogation and arrest of people like Riya Chakrabarti and others, because this is the need of the hour and they are not above law.
I would like to add one more thing. I believe that no person who is a consumer or peddler of drugs can be in Indian public life. Nasir, let us bite the bitter pill, I'm asking you here. We've unfortunately treated this as a matter of amusement in this country, Vikram Singh. Oh, there is a druggy politician in Lutyens, Delhi. And the druggy politician goes missing and the druggy politician comes back looking more drugged. Now my question is this. Whoever are the druggy politicians and stars of this country, and I take no names, the druggy politicians and stars of this country, whoever they may be, wherever they may be from, must undergo and face a mass boycott from the people of India, Vikram Singh.
Absolutely.
Even India's biggest, any political name or superstar.
Agreed. Political morality may be...
Yes, Vikram Singh, what do you think?
Decency.
You want Mr.
Political
Vikram Singh
morality
to speak
may
or
be
me?
But the fact remains that one expects the highest standard of probity and morality from those who are at the helm of affairs and who are at senior positions in political parties. Drug peddling, drug consumption, that is why India continues to be the hub of drug smuggling and drug consumption. And obviously, you have opened a can of worms.
and not open the Pandora's box as Mukherjee has said, but you have opened the cesspool and all. You name it as it is there. The high and the mighty will now have a lot of explaining to do, but I wish I could say they should look to their conscience. They have none. With what we have heard you, Arnab, in the last 7 days, I see that they have no conscience whatsoever, and let the nation and the people decide what to do with politicians who are wasters and losers, those who into harsh words, but ground reality now it seems that those who can orchestrate capital, a godfather who has a remote in his hand, and the remote that he goes and shows the death of Disha Salia, and then removes the 8 hard discs, then ensures that
and viewers,
Singh Rajput also goes to the other world. Then
viewers, that's why it is important, Nasir, that we don't look upon this as Riya Chakrabarti's drug cartel. Remember, this drug cartel includes politicians and Bollywood personalities. Since you've been in this industry for quite some time, maybe you'd like to spill some beans on my program. And I don't know what you're protesting about, Rahul, so I'll come to you after Nasir.
No, Arnabji, just one line. Every Indian wants this drug cartel to be destroyed. But how do you connect this to Disha? You know, earlier a person is saying this WhatsApp chat.
I will connect it. When the time comes, I'll connect it properly. You don't worry.
Unconnected things. Your own sharpness will be decreased. Your own campaign will lose the steam. See, this is a very important thing.
What did I tell you yesterday, Rahul? The truth in everything will come out, including in how Sunanda Pushkar died. Every day remind yourself of that. Do you think Sunanda Pushkar's death will be covered up? No, it won't. There is forensic evidence which will come.
See, this
don't worry.
needs to be destroyed. But how does this prove that Disha was raped and murdered?
Okay, Gaurav Bhatia is responding. Gaurav.
WhatsApp chat. I ask you.
Gaurav is to this for Rahul. Gaurav to Rahul.
Rahul, I have always seen you defending for the right cause. Tonight, I don't know why you are defending the indefensible. Why did Riya Chakrabarti delete the WhatsApp chat? Can you answer that?
Why was the data deleted?
65 days, no FIR. Can you answer that?
Totally agrees with you, Gauravji.
Yes. So then,
totally
don't
agrees with
defend
you.
them.
But how can we connect this to Disha? You are absolutely spot on.
I'm
Totally
telling you how.
But how can we infer
when there
Disha
is
was raped and
an
murdered from these
alleged
chats?
murder or death under suspicious circumstances, it needs to be probed within 6 days. Disha Salian first dies, then Sushant Singh Rajput dies. Is it not a circumstance which needs a proper investigation? No FIR registered in both cases. Is it not serious? Now the drug angle comes. The chat shows Riya Chakrabarti being tutored to administer drugs to Sushant Singh Rajput. Sushant Singh Rajput, whether he is famous or not, can be debated. But he is an Indian citizen. His family deserves justice. India deserves justice.
If we are jumping the gun, that will decrease the very good campaign that this is going on.
We are asking that law be followed in the case of Sushant Singh Rajput. We are asking that Bollywood is not above law. If they take drugs, they need to be put behind bars. That is the point Arnab made. No matter how famous you are, you should be behind bars. We cannot patronize people who are taking drugs. There have been videos of Bollywood out in the open on Twitter and Instagram, and they have rape parties. So from rave parties to rape parties, and we should be quiet as citizens.
Nobody is going to be quiet now. Now the question is 1 minute. Nasir, would you like to share something? Nasir was about to share some details. Nasir.
Turn. Yeah, I lost my turn. Thank you. Can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay, I have a request to all the gentlemen and the ladies, just for 1 minute or so, if you could not interrupt me, because I just have to state some facts, okay? So I don't, and I'm one of the most senior guys here, except for maybe Mr. Vikram Singh. So I'd like to be given the respect of a senior citizen, which I am now, okay? Thank you very much. Try not to interrupt me, because I'm only speaking factually. Rave parties have been happening forever in India, all over, especially in Bombay. And there was a great, a tough cop who actually had a crackdown on them, and he was very, very successful. Drugs are available everywhere in India, any which way. You go to Manali, you go to Kullu, it's like even easier. Anyway, I'm not defending anybody. Drugs are being used in every industry, sir. Every industry. The hospitality, the hospital, the medical, the corporate, etc., etc. Now the difference is with Bollywood, it is in excess, for sure. And I can explain that too, if you give me 5 seconds. In Bollywood, there's a lot of vainness. You've got to look good, you've got to feel good. If you are nervous, you've had it. If you don't look good, you've had it. So they try to really spruce themselves because they are also trying to live a lie. If you're an employee of a corporate company, you don't have to look good. You can come with a shirt tone, you cannot shave, nobody cares. But here they need to look like Madonna, and they need to look like, like Brad Pitt. Okay, so that is maybe one of the reasons why they're so insecure and have to go into the dependence of that. I'm only explaining things which are factual. The other thing is, many people have been saying stuff that he was not the suicidal side. He didn't take drugs, he didn't do this, he was not. And there's a lady who knew him, who had met him only 10 years earlier ago. She had not actually met him for a while. She said, he's not the type. There is no type. You never know. Things can change within days, weeks, months, etc. Now, when you say about the cartel, so I don't know, Ria was into buying the stuff, the drugs. And they do that all the time. A lot of girls I know in Bombay, they are doing their stuff and they have a nice way, they have a contact and they do their numbers. Now this CBD oil about which the person who had actually supplied the drug is a marijuana oil. I have seen it. A friend of mine, she had a cancer. She was my age, but she left early. She had brought this stuff, and you're entitled to have it by the pharmacy if you have a condition like that, because painkillers, they ruin the stomach. I have loose motion, everything goes wrong. So apparently, the cannabis extract, which is the CBD oil, which I have seen and used a little, it doesn't intoxicate you, but it seems to take away the pain, and you feel mildly intoxicated, unlike the marijuana that you smoke or the hashish. It's very different. So that is what they said, put a few drops in the tea, and it will kick in 30 to 40 minutes. That's a fact. I've tried it once or twice. I didn't have to. I don't have a cancer yet, but if it happens, I will. So I just wanted to know, these are facts. But the last thing I want to say about Ria is, I don't know if one can easily say that she's a part of a drug cartel. She's just enjoying the supply of the stuff. She doesn't need to sell this stuff. It's dangerous stuff. She was getting her money, all the good things of life.
What was her source of income?
And she was made.
What was her source of income? I'm asking you. Nasir, 1 minute. Nasir, just stop for a while. Stop for a while. What was her source of income?
His bodyguard says he was
What was her source of income?
During Dhoni.
No, 1 second. What was her source of income?
Sushant said. Sushant.
So, and?
So, they need this high, and it helps. And
I consider the casual manner in which you talk about drugs destroys any sense of morality that we have in our society. Secondly, you may belong to a world where 1 minute. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. I want Mukesh to respond. Can you be a little quiet, please? Thank you, please. Thank you.
I'll give you facts.
Now, can you listen to me?
I can be a bit quiet, but don't tell me how to say something straight. I've been very right. I've requested you, and thank you for putting up with the whole minute. Within 11 seconds, somebody interrupt me, and I'm gone. Over to Mukesh. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Nasir, thank you very much. I never knew anything about drugs. You were the encyclopedia on drugs. You gave all the descriptions of drugs. One line I did not understand.
Don't do that to me.
That all these people.
I did not say that. So I will interrupt you if you accuse me of claiming to be an encyclopedia. I knew 5 facts. That's not an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia is A to Z, sir. So don't say that to me.
You.
I didn't claim it. Don't put words into my mouth. Sir. Say what you have
Nasir,
to,
I am thanking you.
Don't attack me.
I'm thanking you
don't
that
try to
you.
demean me. Talk about the matter. Talk about
Nobody
drugs.
is
Talk
attacking
about
you.
Sushant.
Nobody is attacking
Talk about
you.
Riya and her
Nasir
whatever
bhai,
manipulation. But don't say, Nasir, you are claiming to be an encyclopedia.
You are my God, Nasir. Nasir, can you just stop for a while now? You okay? I've heard this enough. Now, please understand, Nasir. Okay? You may be a casual user of cannabis. That's your choice. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. I'm going to say that. You are on national television supporting the use. You're on national television supporting the use of drugs. Now, it is not legal in this country, and therefore you need to stop right there. And my second point to you is, for you know the story. The story is very serious, and thank you for the diversion, but I go back to the issue. What is the story we are on? The story we are on today, Atim, I think we need to remind him, is about a drugs cartel that includes politicians and Bollywood personalities, which is one of the significant factors behind what happened to Sushant. To bring the debate back on track before Mukesh comes in.
Can somebody stop Nasir?
Nasir is stopped, but I want to bring Atim. I want to bring Atim to bring the debate back on track. Amit, what are we talking about, Amit? Bring the debate back on track. Why are we talking about this in this context?
See, well,
Just a minute.
The issue is very, very simple. From whatever
I heard everyone.
conversations have been revealed yesterday, it is clear that Riya Chakravarti is found guilty under the NDPS Act number 1. She is found guilty of IPC section 307 attempt to murder for administering drugs to a third person without his knowledge, which may lead to his death. So she is found guilty of IPC section 307. She is found guilty of NDPS. It is as simple as that. And this is all about drugs, lies and murder. And I am sorry to say I am afraid. I am afraid that this will also be about drugs, lies, sex and murder. I hope that this factor does not come into the investigation in future. But I am afraid that this may come into the...
But is that what the Mumbai police was protecting, Amit? Is that what the Mumbai police was protecting? This evidence took no time to come out.
Trying to protect the
Just a minute, let Amit complete.
They were trying to protect the drug cartel. They are trying to protect all other illegal happenings that were happening from this gang, this entire gang, which is operating in the industry. This is mafia that is operating in the industry.
And all under protection. And AKashdeep, please understand, none of this can happen without political and police protection. None of this can happen without political and police protection. And let me tell you one thing. Amit, 1 minute. AKashdeep, before you come in, I truly believe that it is important to destroy this mega drug syndicate. Mumbai has swept the drug links under the rug for too long now. And the time has come to clean up those in politics and in Bollywood and mafia with links to the drug syndicate. Remember in April 2018, note what I'm saying, Mumbai police arrested an NCP leader with 36 kilos of cannabis, supplying cannabis in the entire eastern suburb of Mumbai. It was a politician who was caught. Don't make me open my mouth, AKashdeep. You know, politician was caught. They are the drug lords in the city. Politicians are the drug lords in the city. Allow me to complete. And one more thing. Don't make me open my mouth. The truth is going to come out now. And the truth will be unbearable for those people. I will also say this. Please remember, even a former actress was named as a prime accused in the US Enforcement Agency multi-crore drug racket investigation linked to drug baron Vicky Goswami. Don't forget, there was in December 2017 a high-profile drug dealer who is also an event organizer for star-studded rave parties. A-list clients in Mumbai was arrested. Bollywood has been denying links. There are pictures of Bollywood celebrities with a drug lord. You want me to name them?
This is...
Well, 1 minute. Shouldn't all producers... I want all producers to make a public declaration. I want a declaration from all producers when they hire actors that none of my actors consume drugs. And if it is found that even one of my actors consumed drugs, then the entire proceeds of the film will be considered proceeds of crime. That should be a statement made by them.
Fantastic if you say that, Arnab.
Should I tell you? Was there not an actor who in 2001 was caught in a cocaine possession case? He continued to act.
Yes.
Bollywood protected him.
Yes.
Why should actors who consume cocaine be treated casually? I'm sorry.
Not an association.
No, I'm sorry. I'm asking you, Mukesh. Mukesh, tell me. Mukesh, they don't want to answer this question, AKashdeep.
Everything right, you're getting one.
Andrea, yeah.
Arnab, Mukesh, Arnab, you're in the midst of everything right. You are getting one thing wrong. Mukeshji, 1 minute. In the midst of everything right, Arnab, you're getting one thing wrong. There is nothing called Bollywood protecting these guys, Arnab.
I am talking about police and politicians protecting the drug syndicate. Why don't you understand?
Police politicians are not protecting.
Why are police politicians allowing? Obviously they are protecting them, otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to proliferate in the city. Why are they proliferating?
It's not just this city, Arnab. It even happens in Delhi, it even happens in Punjab, everywhere. It's not just this one city.
Taking drugs, so there's a corporate mafia.
Throw them all out.
Why is it called a mafia?
Throw them all out. Throw them all out. I'm not telling you that there are people in media who consume drugs, they have to be protected, or people in industry have to be protected. I don't believe it. I think we set a very bad example in this country.
A waste paper bin.
I think, no, I'm sorry. I'm not one among you who say there are so many murderers, so let murders continue. What kind of unadulterated garbage is that?
With the same brush. Arnab,
Mukesh wanted to say something. Mukesh.
Arnab, you can't make Bollywood into a garbage tip.
Arnab.
Throw everything.
Mukesh.
Completely, I agree.
There is drugs in Bollywood and nowhere else. I think drugs in schools, drugs in the corporate world, drugs in the general
AKashdeep.
There is no Bollywood mafia or gang.
AKashji. Akashji, let me tell you, Akashji. Yeah, you finish. Okay. Okay.
G.
He won't finish, Mukesh. Will Mukesh ji please continue?
You've spoken enough. Let me.
The drugs are not a problem in Bollywood. Drugs
come on now, you know. Come on, I'm going to ask you, will the big corporates continue to use druggies to promote brands? Should druggies promote brands?
The corporates themselves take drugs. The corporates themselves.
So what? What are you justifying? What are you justifying? You are saying corporates take drugs. Is that okay? It's not. Am I saying it's okay? I'm saying it's not okay for anyone.
Who is saying
you stop promoting this drug culture. And remember, there is a reason why at the end of this, Mukesh Khanna said this on this debate. Why did the matter move? Why did the matter move? Why did the matter move from trying to cover up a case to murder, and now the reason for the murder being the drug cartel? Please think, Mukesh ji.
Arnab, let me say, आकाश जी आपने बहुत बोल लिया अभी, बहुत बोल लिया आपने.
सर आप बोलिए.
Let me talk about the industry. Arnab ji, there is a vast difference between alcohol and drugs, drinks and drugs. Everybody in the industry openly drinks, except me. I mean, I don't drink. I have never even had a beer in my life. But I will tell you, difference between drinks. They have drink session every evening. They have a people every evening having a drink, and they say, "Tusi greato pape." But drugs are crime.
Which world are you in, sir?
Drugs lena.
What do you mean, which world are you in? No, one second. One second. When he says drugs are a crime, he said, one second. When he said drugs are a crime, AKashdeep says, which world are you in? Please don't be out of your mind. Yes, please, Akash, please continue. Thank you. Thank you.
About which world?
In which world?
The whole world.
Do you think that there are drinks happening in the evening only in Bollywood?
I am not talking about drinks. He's talking about drugs. Please understand. AKashdeep, thank you. Speak when you're spoken. Let Mukesh continue.
I'm talking about drugs.
Drugs also. Drugs only happen in Bollywood.
I'm talking about
drugs only happen in Bollywood.
Rajesh Khanna. No, I'm not saying drugs happening in Bollywood. I'm saying drugs cannot be happening in Bollywood without the protection of the law, without the protection of the police.
Yes,
there has to be a.
They should not be.
Can you
do you think police doesn't know?
Yeah. Yes, Mukesh, continue.
Do you think police doesn't know that drugs parties are going on? Do you think the police and the netas don't know where the drugs are available? Drugs are criminal act. Uske बावजूद आप बोलते हो हमारी इंडस्ट्री में पार्टियां नहीं होती. मैं आपको बता दूं, राजेश खन्ना जी, the first superhero of our industry, every evening he used to have his session with people. ड्रिंक्स चाहिए और बोलने के लिए तुसी ग्रेट ऑफ पापे लोग आते थे शराब पीने के लिए. वो ठीक है, चलता है, चल रहा है, लेकिन ड्रग्स नहीं. ड्रग्स आर नॉट ओपनली टेकन. और
no, they no.
Mr. Mukesh is mixing drugs with alcohol.
No, he's not. You are. Thank you.
We are talking about
Rahul
industry. We are talking about Bollywood industry.
With alcohol.
I'm not saying it is not taken in the corporate world.
Different level.
No, I'm saying
beyond
जैसे कि अभी आपने नासिर भाई ने कहा,
let's be very
said कि आदमी लोग इंडस्ट्री में Nasir said the industry may people are insecure. They want to some security. They take drinks. They think drinks will make them relaxed. It doesn't. But when you go from drinks to drugs, it becomes the issue of the nation. ड्रग्स आप पिएंगे तो आपको आदत पड़ जाती है और ड्रग्स वाले चाहते हैं कि आप और लीजिए. It is addictive. उसको पीना, मैं नहीं कहता कि इंडस्ट्री में है, सब जगह पर होगा, पूरे वर्ल्ड में है.
The only question, the only point I want to focus on, Mukesh, 4 minutes left. The only point I want to focus on is the question, Gaurav, that was asked here. Could the overdose of drugs in Bollywood happen without the approval of the law and order machinery of the city or the state? That is all we need to focus on, because that's where the Riya Chakrabarti story also goes. Gaurav Bhatia.
Arnab, I just want to say one thing. This is a deadly cocktail of the powerful people in the government whose duty is to ensure that law is abided by. And they are protecting the drug peddlers. They are protecting the ones who are taking drugs. And I am ashamed today. Nasir ji, you said that Riya Chakrabarti is not a part of the cartel. She was only taking drugs, enjoying herself. I am sure you are aware it's a crime.
She may not be. She may not be because she had her money coming.
No, one second. Nasir, thank you very much, please.
Are the police saying she's a part of the cartel? Have they announced
Well,
it?
drugs are a weapon in this country to subjugate the youth, and stop being so indulgent about it, okay? That's enough. That's enough, Nasir. Thank you. I don't think it's funny anymore. I don't think what you're saying is funny. Gaurav Bhatia.
Drugs for enjoyment. We lost Sushant Singh Rajput, Disha Salian. And Nasir ji कह रहे हैं यहाँ enjoyment चल रहा है. ये बॉलीवुड की मूवी नहीं है. This is real life. Please come back to senses. Don't justify something which is illegal, which is unacceptable. These people should be behind bars. Jail is the right place for anybody who takes drugs. And it's a matter of investigation. Let the police investigate. And let nobody be spared.
And let us not normalize drugs in any context.
Thank you. After saying all that you did, you're trying to balance it out. Amit, you are in Mumbai. You're watching this very closely with your eye on the ear on the ground. Amit, my question to you is, it appears to a lot of people responding today to tonight's debate, saying that now we understand the possible reason. Not just for the murder, but for the cover-up which followed.
See, this entire thing now, this is not restricted only to Sushant Singh Rajput. Now this has become much more than Sushant Singh Rajput. It is about the image of the city, it is about the image of the country, it is about the image of the state, it is about the future generation, it is about our young generation. With this drugs angle coming, there may be a sex angle, maybe it will come tomorrow. So I think this needs to go to a logical conclusion for the faith of the people to be restored in our machinery, in our democracy, in our system, in our police, in our law, in our justice, in our future, for our future younger generation. So I think this has become much more, than one single murder case. And I think this case should clean the entire system.
Sir, it is not yet proved to be a murder. Please be measured with words.
Of this drug mafia.
It has not yet
Rahul, can you stop interrupting while I put this in context? Viewers, we have picked up the worst from the West sometimes. I must say this.
Yes.
We have picked up the worst from the West. And for all those people, politicians, people in positions of power who think drugs are cool, let me remind you, in November last year, in the United Kingdom, Labour MP Keith Vaz was suspended for 6 months after he was found to have, quote unquote, expressed willingness to buy cocaine. He wasn't even seen consuming cocaine. He had expressed willingness to buy cocaine. He was suspended from Parliament. That's why I will say that all these babalog politicians who think drugs are cool, believe me, this country is changing. Drugs are not cool. And trying to do a cover-up of a murder where one of the root reasons is the narcotics trade and the use of narcotics is not cool at all. These people need to be in prison. Now we are following very, very close leads. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a humongous amount of information coming into our SIT and our investigating teams. It's a matter of time before the jigsaw puzzle opens up. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.